I think I told someone, like, man, I want to throw for like 6,000 yards with the weapons we have. Like, I'm not a individual award type of guy or a stat watcher, you know. I just want to do that, you know, because no one ever done it, and I feel like we have the weapons to do it. Just can't wait to get rolling.
The Baltimore Ravens are one of the scariest teams heading into the 2023 season, in large part due to what they did this offseason to make Lamar Jackson happy. Even going back to last year, the Ravens looked like a very formidable team, and for much of the year, they were the leader of the AFC North, and a lot of people heading into December believed that they had a good chance to win the division. But unfortunately for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson would suffer a knee injury against the Denver Broncos, and it kind of put a hamper on the rest of their season. The Ravens were 8-4 with Lamar at the helm, but finished the year 2-3 with Tyler Huntley stepping in at quarterback. But I think if we learned anything from this past year, it's that the Ravens can absolutely compete with the Cincinnati Bengals for that division title. I mean, even the wild card game at Cincinnati without Lamar Jackson, without their star quarterback, the Ravens were right there and honestly should have won that game if it wasn't for a absolute blunder of a call calling a quarterback sneak at the 2 or 3 yard line, resulting in Sam Howard ripping the ball out of Tyler Huntley's hands and taking it all the way back for a 98-yard touchdown. So although Lamar didn't play in that game and there became a ton of new rumors and drama regarding him and his situation with the Ravens, I looked at the Ravens season as a whole, I looked at that playoff game against the Bengals, and I came away fairly optimistic about how they can perform in 2023. But of course, the caveat was that Lamar Jackson would be back and he would be the quarterback for the Ravens long term. And going into this offseason, there was actually a lot of speculation that he was not going to be the Ravens long-term quarterback. They put the non-exclusive franchise tag on him, meaning teams could negotiate with Lamar and he could see what his market was like. And when the tag was first placed on Lamar, I thought there was a chance that a team like the Colts could have gone out and acquired him. And as we know now, that did not happen, and the non-exclusive tag was actually a brilliant idea by the Ravens organization. I made an entire video when this situation went down, kind of breaking down both of the sides of this dispute between Lamar and the Ravens. I understood both sides. I understand the Ravens not wanting to pay $200 million fully guaranteed to a quarterback that is a running type of quarterback who has gotten hurt in the recent years. And then Lamar's side is, hey, I've accomplished more. I'm a better player than Deshaun Watson. Why should I not get his type of money or even more than that? But I think when Lamar saw his market firsthand, negotiating with other teams and seeing what was out there, I think he quickly realized that Deshaun Watson's contract is probably never going to happen again in the history of the NFL, at least not anytime soon. And no team was going to offer that for him. And I think that's when he came to his conclusion that, hey, I should just take what the Ravens are offering me. Both parties went back to the negotiating table and they came to a conclusion. Lamar signed a ridiculous 5-year, $260 million contract with 72.5 of it and a signing bonus. So the Ravens officially have Lamar Jackson locked up for the near future, and that cloud that was kind of hovering over the team and Lamar the past couple of years is officially gone. But although signing Lamar Jackson to that extension might have been the biggest thing for them this offseason, the Ravens have also made a ton of huge moves, especially on the offense, to completely overhaul that unit. Starting early in this offseason, getting rid of Greg Roman and bringing in former Georgia offensive coordinator Todd Monken, it became pretty apparent that it was time for both parties to move on. I do think Greg Roman made Lamar's transition to the NFL easier, but Lamar's been in the league for multiple years now. I think it's the perfect time to move away from that college type of offense and really take the training wheels off. So I think Monken was a good hire. I'm very excited to see how Lamar performs in this new type of offense. But what goes with that is when you move away from a very run-heavy offense, which is Greg Roman's, and move to a more passing and traditional offense and Monken's, you need some more viable targets on the outside for Lamar Jackson, and the Ravens made sure to go get Lamar some real targets this offseason. Their first move was getting Nelson Aguilar, the former New England Patriot and Philadelphia Eagle, and when they signed them, it was pretty popular to see a lot of people making fun of the Ravens, like, hey, this is all the help you're going to get Lamar. But that would not be all, as just a few weeks later, the Ravens would go out and sign Odell Beckham Jr. to a 1-year deal worth up to $18 million. Odell has been a huge mystery the past couple of years of what team he was going to play for. There were some rumors last year that he was going to join the Giants or maybe even the Cowboys in the middle of the season. That never ended up happening. He used the year to rehab his knee, but now I'm really interested to see what type of form that Odell Beckham Jr. is in. He's got 2 ACL tears in the last 3 years. I wonder how much that impacts his explosiveness or his speed. If he's anywhere close to what he was on the Rams during the Super Bowl run, I think it's a home run hit, no doubt. And after that signing, the Ravens had a pretty good stable of wide receivers with Devin Duvernay, Nelson Aguilar, James Prochet, Odell Beckham Jr., and their former first-round pick Rashad Bateman. So heading into the NFL draft, I was not confident that the Ravens were going to take another wide receiver. I was pretty sure they were going to take a player player on the offensive line, or maybe on the defense. They love taking trench players in the first round. But they shocked me when they took Zay Flowers out of Boston College with their first round pick. In my opinion, he's the most electric wide receiver in the draft. He's super quick, he's a great route runner, and he has deep speed. He's definitely going to be a weapon for Lamar Jackson. And that's just their receivers. You can't forget about their Pro Bowl tight end and Mark Andrews, who's one of the best in the league. And you can't forget about two solid running backs in J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. I think Dobbins will be able to bounce back even better this year, coming off of his injuries he suffered 2 years ago. Last year he was solid, but you could definitely tell he was not 100% throughout the season. Another offseason, another few months to train and get back to 100% in what he was as a rookie. I think we're going to see rejuvenized J.K. Dobbins, and that's going to be really fun to watch. So I don't think that there's any debate that this is the most weaponry that Lamar Jackson has had in his entire career. And now he has a new offensive coordinator that he apparently had some say in. So especially after the contract, Lamar actually might be one of the happiest people on the entire planet right now. So their offense has been infused with a ton of talent this offseason, and their defense for the most part has relatively stayed the same, which was one of the best units in the league last year. The Ravens were third in the NFL last year in points allowed, only giving up 18.5 points per game, and almost all of the stars the team had on that unit are still there. They're bringing back their same linebacking core with Roquan Smith, Patrick Queen, and Tyus Bowser. Their secondary is still pretty much the same, although they did get rid of Marcus Peters. They brought in Rocky Sin to replace him, but Kyle Hamilton, Marcus Williams, and Marlon Humphrey are still there as one of the best secondaries in the league. And the Ravens did decide to not pick up Patrick Queen's fifth-year option, so I think that's why they took Trenton Simpson with their second-round pick, the linebacker out of Clemson. I don't know if he's going to play right away. I know Raven fans are not a huge fan of Patrick Queen. I think he's an okay player, but nonetheless, they have some depth with Simpson. He can get onto the field and kind of learn this year and then take over for Queen after this season. But overall, there's a lot to like with this Baltimore Ravens team. I love the continuity that they kept with their defense, only making some marginal changes, and then on offense, surrounding Lamar Jackson with an arsenal of weapons. So I'm very excited to watch this Ravens team next year, specifically their offense, and seeing how Lamar can perform with all of these new players. And personally, it would not shock me to see them compete for the AFC North and potentially even win that division. Ultimately, I think it will come down to how easy of a transition it is for Lamar and the other players on that offense to learn that system. And of course, if Lamar Jackson can stay healthy, I know that's been a question mark the past couple of years. Personally, I'm pretty optimistic because we did see Lamar have a bounce back year last year from 2021. In the 12 games he played, he had 20 total touchdowns to only 7 interceptions. And I'd honestly say through about the halfway point of last season, he was in those MVP discussions. So with him getting all of these new weapons, a new offensive coordinator, of course getting his contract and coming back healthy this year, can he get close or even match his MVP year back in 2019? I think that's going to be a really fun storyline to watch all of next season. And currently Vegas has Lamar's MVP odds as the 8th best in the league. But if Lamar truly does return to that form and meshes well with all these new pieces on his offense, I don't think it's crazy at all to assume that the Ravens could be a serious Super Bowl contender in the AFC next season. But let me know what you think about the Baltimore Ravens and how many games you think they're going to win this year, and if you think they're going to be a true Super Bowl contender in 2023. But anyway, subscribe to the channel if you are new, drop a like on the video if you did enjoy it, and as always, thank you so much for watching the video, and I will catch you guys in my next one.